This is the story of Kim Philby, the double agent who infiltrated the heart of Western intelligence and got away with it. Harold Kim Philby was born in 1912 in British India. Educated at Cambridge, he was brilliant, charming, persuasive, and quietly ambitious. In the 1930s, the world was shifting. Fascism was rising in Europe, and communism was pulling the minds of young intellectuals. Philby, secretly seduced by Marxist ideas, was recruited by Soviet intelligence in 1934. He was one of the best members of Cambridge Five.
The Cambridge Five was a ring of spies in the United Kingdom that passed information to the Soviet Union during the Second World War and the Cold War and was active from the 1930s until at least the early 1950s.
Kim was known for passing more than 900 British documents over to the NKVD and its successor, the KGB. The NKVD People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs and the KGB Committee for State Security were both Soviet secret police agencies, but they existed at different points in history and had some distinct differences. In 1949, Philby was appointed First Secretary to the British Embassy in Washington and served as Chief British Liaison with American intelligence agencies. During his career as an intelligence officer, he passed large amounts of intelligence to the Soviet Union, including the Albanian subversion, a scheme to overthrow the pro-Soviet government of communist Albania. By the time World War II erupted, Philby had already climbed Mi-6 ranks. He wasn't just inside the system, he was the system. Assigned to lead anti-Soviet counterintelligence, Philby had access to Britain's deepest secrets, and he passed them all to Moscow. In one of the most remarkable interviews, Philby reveals just how easy it was to steal secrets from Britain's Secret Service. He says that he simply made friends with the archivist who managed the files by going out 2 or 3 times a week for a drink with him. This allowed Philby to get hold of files which had nothing to do with his own job. If there had been proper discipline in the handling of papers in SIS, that would have been quite impossible. But there was, in fact, no discipline.
Philby goes on to explain what he did with all the documents.
Every evening, I left the office with a big briefcase full of reports that I had written myself, full of files and actual documents from the archive. I used to hand them to my Soviet contact in the evening. The next morning, I would get the files back, the contents having been photographed, and early the next morning, I would put them back in their place. That I did regularly year in year out.
Kim even advised American intelligence during the formation of the CIA and warned the Soviets of every plan made against them. By the early 1950s, cracks began to show. 2 other Soviet spies, Guy Burgess and Donald McLean, had fled to Moscow after being exposed.
Philby, their close friend, came under suspicion. He was questioned, he lied flawlessly, and somehow he was let go.
Years passed. He was quietly rehired by MI6 as a Middle East correspondent, where he continued his work. Both as a journalist and a traitor, but truth catches up, even with ghosts. In 1963, Philby's cover finally cracked for good. Facing a final round of interrogation in Beirut, he vanished overnight.
Evading British agents, he slipped onto a Soviet freighter and defected to Moscow. The man who betrayed the West for nearly 30 years was now living comfortably in the East, a hero of the KGB. In Moscow, Philby was given awards, an apartment, and constant surveillance. Despite his service as a Soviet intelligence agent, Philby never achieved a high-ranking position within the KGB. He drank heavily, rarely smiled, and died in 1988.
To the Soviets, he was a loyal agent. To Britain, the ultimate traitor. To historians, he remains one of the most dangerous double agents in history.
And the most terrifying part? He wasn't the only one. Do you believe Kim Philby acted alone? Or was there a deeper Soviet network hidden inside the West? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more real stories straight from the shadows.